All right. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Your notes today are nice and short. Just one little page.
Is it scary?
No, very easy. But okay, you do have to have a graphing calculator to do it, which means you pretty much have to finish your homework in class unless you have your own. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to switch your calculator. There are two different modes. I need you to have it in degree mode. Okay, this is not the typical setting that your calculator is set to. So what you're going to do is push the mode button right here. And then radian is highlighted right now. We have not covered radians. We will soon. Okay, but go ahead and switch over to degree. And then when you push enter, it should highlight the degree box instead of the radian box. Okay, if you don't switch this, all your answers are going to come out wrong. Are we all good on that? So mode, degree, enter. Okay. So if I want you to find the sine of 212, you are going to just use the sine button. So to get out of this screen, you're going to hit second quit. And quit is on this mode button right here. So second quit, so you're looking at the regular screen. Clear whatever's in there out. And then find the sine of 212. Sine button's right here, 212. There's your answer. So it's negative 0.529, but we're rounding to the thousandths place. That's 3 decimals. So if 529 is followed by another 9, what are we going to round it to? Negative 0.530. There you go. Okay, next one, cosine of 39. You're going to use your cosine button. Cosine of 39 is 0.777. Okay, and then since that is followed by a 1, we would not round it up or down. Okay, next one, we want tan of 310. Tan button is right next to it. Okay, they're all in a row, sine, cosine, and tangent. Okay, that gives me negative 1.191, followed by a 7. My 191 is going to go up to a 192. Okay, first part of that, are we good? Okay, so now we need to talk about if you're solving an equation that has sine, cosine, or tangent in it, you're going to use the inverse function. So you should remember the little negative 1 on top. Okay, that means inverse. And remember that inverse functions cancel each other out. So a sine with a negative 1 on it means the inverse of sine, and inverse means it'll cross out. So let me show you how to do this, and your assignment should not be too hard. Take a look at the first one. I have 4 sine theta minus 1 equals 0.5. What number do you guess we're solving we should undo first?
The 4.
Okay, the 4 is a good guess, but that's actually not first. The minus 1. How do we get rid of a minus 1? Okay, so in your calculator, what is 0.5 plus 1? 1.5, very good. Okay, now it's time to get rid of the 4. Notice that the 4 is in front of the sign, it's multiplied. So how do we undo times 4? Divide by 4. And then for your 1.5 over 4, I'm not actually going to divide it. I'm just going to leave it as a fraction. Okay, from here, this is the new thing. To cancel out a sign, you're going to use an inverse sign, which is going to be sine negative 1. Now remember, if you do it on one side, you have to also do it on the other side. But then remember what we talked about, inverse sine and sine are going to cross each other out. So you'll just have theta equals, and then whatever this number is, we're going to put it into the calculator. Now on your sine button, okay, you'll notice that in blue right above it, it says sine negative 1. That's what you want. So you're going to push second sine to get to the inverse. Okay, then I'm going to use my 1.5 divided by 4. If you want to use the pretty fraction, you can, but you don't have to. So we got 22.024. 22.024. And then, yeah, this is still thousands.
What almost being the thousands unless it's actually part of like.
Yes, I think on the homework it's thousands, so that's why I did it like that. But I think on your tests and stuff, it's a whole degree. Okay, take a look at letter B. We have a 4 cosine theta equals 0.920. What do we do first? Divide that 4 out of the way. So now we have cosine theta equals 0.920 over 4. Now remember, you can divide this out if you want to and then write whatever that decimal is. That's fine. Okay, but if you leave it as a fraction, that's okay, because what's my next step to get rid of cosine? So we want cosine -1, which is inverse cosine. So put that on both sides. COS -1. And then in the calculator, instead of pushing second sine, you'll push second cosine. But you should still see the little -1 when you type it in. So second cosine here is 0.920 divided by 4. Okay, gives me 76.702. 76.702. And then the 2's get around to a 3. Because after the 702, it's followed by a 9. Very good. Okay, now if you're not remembering last time, theta is a measure for an angle. Okay, so that's why I'm putting this little circle after, is to show that these answers are in degrees. Okay, last one like that, take a look at letter C. We have 1 plus tan theta minus 30 equals 3.471. Can I get rid of the minus 30 right now? Not with it in parentheses, right? So we're going to have to get rid of this 1. How do I get rid of a positive 1? Okay, do it on both sides. So now I have tan 30 theta minus 30 equals. And then in your calculator, 3.471, take away 1. What are we going to get? 2.47. Okay, then from here, can I get rid of the minus 30 now? No, what has to go first? The tan. And remember, to get rid of tan, you'll use tan -1 or inverse tan is how you would say that. Okay, remember that's going to be second tan on the calculator. So that'll cross out my tangent. All I have left is theta minus 30 equals, and then we're putting that into the calculator. So second tan 2.471. Okay, that gives me 67.967 degrees. Okay. Okay, thank you. Is she going home? Oh, library. Okay. Cool. All right, then from there, are we done?
No.
Minus 30, how do we get rid of it? Plus 30. So my 67 plus 30 is going to make that a 97.967. Now, out of all 3 of those angles, can you tell me which one would be considered obtuse? Third one. Remember, obtuse means bigger than 90, which makes the other 2, do you remember the word for that? Okay, so if you see those words over the next couple weeks, okay, 90 is your cutoff. Bigger than that is obtuse. Less than that is acute. So working the same questions that you would have done the last couple days of class. Okay, if I gave you a question like this for number 3, you would have to draw the triangle into quadrant 1. You'd have to label the sides of the triangle, then do Pythagorean theorem to find the third side, and then do SOHCAHTOA. Yeah, that's what we've been working on. Now, if you can use the calculator, you can solve for what your theta is, and then just find cosine and tangent all using the calculator. So let me show you what I mean by that. we know that the sine of theta, there was an easier way all along. Okay, so sine theta is 3/5. How can I cancel out the sine to just know how big theta is? Inverse sine or sine -1. So my sine and my inverse sine cross out, and now I know that theta is whatever this gives me in the calculator. So second sine, 3/5. Okay, very good. Now for this one, let's just round it to a whole number. So if it's 36.8, how many degrees is that about? 37. Okay. And then from there, if I want cosine and tangent for that same angle, I can just type them in. Yes, sir. Yeah, sure. So now in your calculator, find the cosine of 37, then find the tan of 37, and you don't actually have to get the triangle. So cosine 37 degrees, tan 37 degrees. So cosine 37, tan 37, and then just write those answers down. Okay. But this should give you the same answers that you were getting the long way in the calculator. Okay, the difference is your answers here are decimals versus when you do it the way we were doing it before. Remember, your answers had square roots in it, and they weren't quite as like neatly packaged as a decimal. So 0.798, which is going to round to 799. Thank you. And then 0.753 will go to 754. Okay. All right, go ahead and turn the page when you're ready.
Oh, wait, I'm cutting a little bit late. I do.
That's okay. I can try to show you after we finish, but I'm not going to go back over the whole page. So,
Just show me what I meant.
yeah, just pick up on the back with us. All right, go ahead and turn the page. Okay, so remember, you had a total of how many trig functions? There was sine, cosine, and tangent, and then how many more? There were 3 more, right? The 3 flips, right? So your calculator only has buttons for the 3 main ones, the sine, cosine, and tangent. Okay, but like I said, remember that there are actually 6, which means you only have buttons for the first 3. So the remaining 3 functions, known as the reciprocal functions, are going to be solved based on their relationship to their original partner. So CSC is sine flipped. SEC is cosine flipped. And then tangent, sorry, this should be cotan is tangent flipped. Sorry, I missed that last one. CSC is sine flipped. SEC is cosine flipped. And cotan is tangent flipped. So let's say that I want to find CSC of 112, but I don't have a button for that. What you're going to do is put it over 1. And then when you put it in the calculator, you're going to put 1 over and use which button? Sine, cosine, or tangent. So you're going to put 1 over the sine of 112. Okay, so go ahead and do that. Use your pretty fraction. Remember to access the pretty fraction, it's alpha x. And then we're doing 1 over sine 112. So we got 1.078 followed by a 5. It's going to go to 1.07. And then let me, can I have the calculator all around the picture? I'll show you. Okay, for the next one, I want to seek it, but I don't have a button for that. So what do we do to fix it? Oh, is this yours? Or was it yours?
I didn't pick up a
Okay,
calculator.
will you go grab one? Okay, do 1/, and then cosine 205.
What?
I just, that mode is already fixed, I'm gonna just fix this one.
Wait, did you just pull a calculator out of thin air?
No, I already had one for me, and I gave it to you. Alright, so we're doing 1/, cosine 205. Okay, great. Cosine 205 is negative 1.103.
Oh.
Wait, is that wrong? That's right, okay. Did you type it in right, Ken?
No, I thought.
Oh, okay. And then last one, if it's cotan, I would do 1/, tangent 107. So that gives me negative 0.305 is gonna go to 6. Okay. All right, so no, last little bit of that is we just have to know how to solve with the 3 reciprocals. Remember, these are the ones that are not in your calculator, but we can still solve them. So let's start with the first question. What do you think we should do first? Add the 1 is correct. So I have a 0.982. I'm gonna add the 1 across, which means that C theta is, what is 0.982 plus 1? Don't about it. 1.9. Okay. From here, remember, I don't have a CSC button. That means I don't have a second CSC button. Okay, but what you can do is if I want CSC to go back to one of my original 3, I can flip both sides. So what I mean by that is that if this is a 1.982, I'm going to put it over 1. And then I'm going to flip the fraction. So that now it's 1/1.982. And then when I flip CSC, which of the 3 does that go back to? Sine, very good. And now that it's back to a regular sign, I can use second sign on the calculator to solve. Okay. So I'm going to put here, flip both sides. So the number side I'm going to flip, and then CSC goes back to the original. Then from there, we're going to do second sign on both sides to get our answer. Remember that sine and second sign cross out.
30.000.
Oh, hold on, I get something. Oh, oops, second sign. 1/1.982. 30.300. But then we're gonna round it to be 30.301. Okay, then remember that's an angle measure, so that would be an acute angle because it's less than 30 degrees. All right, take a look at letter B. What number do you think we should get rid of first, the 4 or the 20? Yeah, the 4, since the 20 is on the inside, I can't get to that yet. So I'm going to divide that 4 out of the way. And then remember, on the number side, just leave it as a fraction. Okay, from here, what does secant flip back to when I flip both sides? Cosine theta minus 20. And then when I flip this side, it's already a fraction. Instead of being the decimal over 4, now it's going to be 4 over the 6.15. And then from there, how do I get rid of the cosine?
Divided.
Cosine -1 or inverse cosine. And then remember, cosine and inverse cosine, those cross each other out. So these guys are gone. We have theta minus 20 equals. And then I'm going to find what this number is. What will my last step be if my theta still has a minus 20 on it? I'll add
Add,
the 20,
add.
yeah. So second cosine, I want 4 over 6.156. And then once I get that answer, I'm gonna add my 20 across. So my final answer should be 69 degrees. 69.475, which is gonna round to 476. Okay, one more left. Take a look at letter C. What number do you think we get rid of first? What's it, 4? Oh yeah, the 1, thank you. And then if that's a +1, I'm gonna minus that 1 across. So I have cotan theta plus 10. 3 minus 1 is gonna be 2.156. And then when I'm looking at my calculator, there's no cotan button. I can't use that. But if I flip it, which one does cotan go back to? Tangent, very good. So when I flip both sides, this is gonna go back to tan theta plus 10. And this, if it's not a fraction already, just put it over 1 so that you have something to flip it with. So now it'll be 1 over 2.156. From here, how do we cross out tan? Inverse tan or second tan or tan -1, okay, all those are the same. So inverse tan on both sides, that'll cross out the tan part. So theta plus 10 equals, and then we're putting that into the calculator. Second tan 1 over 3.156. Y'all get 24 degrees?
Yes.
0.883.
Yeah.
And then to get rid of the plus 10, we'll just minus it across. So 24 take away 10 is going to give us 14.83. Questions on that? Okay. So just like what we were doing over the last couple classes, if I gave you that CSC is 7 over 4, you would draw the triangle, label the sides, do Pythagorean theorem, and then set up SOHCAHTOA and then do your flips. If you have the calculator, you can solve this for theta and then just put the other ones into the calculator that you want. So for example, if my CSC is 7 over 4, what will CSC flip back to? So this side will go to 4 over 7, and the CSC side will go to sine. And then if I want to find the exact angle, rather than draw the triangle and blah, 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 you'll do inverse sine on both sides. So sine and inverse sine are going to cross out. And that will tell us exactly how big our angle is. So I got 34.8. We'll round that to 35 degrees just for the next couple of seconds. Okay. Then it says to find sine, cosine, and tangent. So then we can just literally put those in the calculator and find those numbers. So I would find the sine of 35. Then I would find the cosine of 35 and then the tan of 35. But once you know how big theta is, that's where you can use your calculator to just come up on those number points. Sine 35, you should get 0.574. Cosine of 35 gives me 0.819, but that would round to 820. And then tan, oh, am I wrong? Oh, you're right. Thank you. The number after the 819 is a 1, so it would stay. And then tan 35 would be 0.700. Now, I know that this question doesn't ask it, but let's pretend like it also asks you to find, let's say, cotangent. Do I have a cotangent button? So if I want to find the cotangent of 35, I would have to put 1 over tangent 35 in the calculator. Y'all remember that? Okay, so if you don't have a button for it, then you put it 1 over. Okay. And then 1 over tan 35, correct, would be 1.42. Okay. Do y'all feel like you kind of get it? Okay.
Question.
Yes. All right, y'all's homework is on those back. No, you didn't. Okay, I love to help. Tell me if you change your mind. Yes. It's not showing up? No. Okay, hang on one sec. I need to have it hidden.